Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Freya here with you today, and today I'm going to be sharing the very tragic case of Judith Eva Barsi. So before I start this video, I'd like to say viewer discretion is advised, so proceed with caution because some information I tell you about the story, it couldn't be disturbing or alarming to some viewers, and keep in mind, our channel is recommended for ages 12 and up, so if you're not that age, please get permission from a parent or guardian. So with that out of the way, let's just get started. So, Judith Eva Barsi was born June 6, 1978, and unfortunately had her life cut short on July 25, 1988. She is an American child actress of the 80s, working for many, which I'll later state some further on in the video. So, before I start, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory on her father. So, his name was Joseph, and he fled Hungary after the 1956 Soviet occupation war, where he immigrated to New York in the United States in 1964, and then to California, where he met Maria Virovax. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that name, and she was also an immigrant escaping the Soviet occupation. So they married and moved to Los Angeles, California, United States, and that's where Judith was born. So Maria began grooming her daughter to be an actress at the age of only 5. She was discovered at a skating rink, and her first role was in Fatal Vision, and she played Kimberly McDonald. She went in to appear in more than 70 commercials and guest roles on television. That's just crazy. And she appeared in several films. Well, she appeared in more, but these are the ones I'm going to say. And some were Jaws, The Revenge. She also provided the voices for Ducky in The Land Before Time and Anne Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. Now, I don't know if you guys have watched them, but I really recommend The Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven. Those were my favorite movies growing up, and they were just so amazing. And Ducky was actually my favorite, so that's pretty funny. But it's not really funny, sorry. But by the time she started 4th grade, she was earning $100,000 a year. I know, that's just crazy because most adults, full-grown adults, don't even make that much a year, which is just insane to me. And that helped her family to buy a 3-bedroom house in West Hills, Los Angeles. Now, you can actually find pictures of this house online, but we don't ever show pictures in our videos. We find it very disrespectful and rude to post pictures of the dead or people missing and anything that has to do with them. But if you're really interested, you can look it up online. So she was very, very short for her age. She stood at 3'8" at age 10. So at age 10, I was about 4'2", 3", which is just crazy. And I was super short for my age. Most of the people I knew were at least 4'8". I was super short, but just crazy. So she began receiving hormone injections at UCLA to encourage her growth, to help her grow more because she was very short. And her petiteness led casting directors to cast her as children that were usually younger than her actual age. And it was quoted in the Los Angeles Times that saying when she was 10, she was still playing 7- and 8-year-old roles in films. So this is where it starts to take a dark turn. So if you are sensitive to that, please click away now. Now is the time. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Okay, so I hope that was enough time, and for those of you who stuck around, thanks. So this is where it starts to take a turn. So after so as Barsi's career increased and she got more successful, Joseph, her father, became increasingly angry and would routinely threaten to kill himself along with his wife and daughter. His alcoholism worsened, causing the police to arrest him 3 times for drunk driving. In December 1986, Maria reported his threats and physical violence toward her to the police. And the police found no physical signs, no cuts, bruises, nothing like that. So after that, she decided to not press charges, which is very bad. Just imagine what would have happened if she had. And I'm not saying it's the mother's fault. It's really not. She seemed like a great person, and I'm not sending any hate towards her. But that's just very sad to know what could have happened. But after the incident with the police, Joseph Barsi reportedly stopped drinking, but he continued to threaten Maria and Judith, which is just horrible. Some of the threats included threatening to cut their throats, as well as burn the house down with them in it. Just so horrible that your own father would just say that to you. So one thing he did to Maria was he hid a letter that one of her family members back in Hungary died. He just kept that from her, that one of her own family members had passed away. It was just a very horrible thing to do. But the reason why he did it is so Maria couldn't leave the States with Judith. Just my brain can't process how messed up that is. So the physical violence still continued, and Barsi ended up admitting to a friend of hers that her father threw pots and pans at her. That's just her own dad would throw big, they're pretty heavy, and that would just really hurt. And it actually hit her nose and hit her in the face, and it resulted in a nosebleed. I feel so bad for her. So as a result of the abuse she was going through, she started gaining weight and exhibited disturbing behavior. So she would often pick out her cat's eyelashes and pull out the whiskers. Just so sad that she was going through so much that she didn't know how to handle it. It just makes me super sad. So when she was singing an audition for All Dogs Go to Heaven, she broke down in front of an agent and just started crying and spilling everything. So Barsi was taken by Maria to a child psychologist who identified severe physical and emotional abuse and reported her findings to Child Protective Services. The Child Protective Services worker had over 60 cases of other children, so she was extremely, extremely overworked. So it's not her fault at all. And so she wasn't able to give Judith attention, her case, the attention it really deserved. So the investigation was just completely dropped after Maria assured the caseworker that she intended to begin divorce proceedings against Joseph, and her and Judith were going to move into a Panamora apartment she had recently rented as a daytime heaven from him. I think that's just alone, that says a lot. She would rent a house to escape her husband's treatments to them. It just makes me sick to my stomach, the thought that anybody would do that. And her friends actually encouraged her to follow through with it and file for divorce, but she didn't because she was afraid she'd lose the house belongings, and he threatened if she ever left him, she would kill both of them. Judith Barsi, and this is the saddest part, so this is the one opportunity I'm going to give 3 seconds to click away. Okay, I hope that was enough time, and I'm sorry for doing that again, but it just gets really, really bad here. So this is where Judith was last seen. She was last seen riding her bike on the morning of July 25th, 1988. And that evening, Joseph shot her in the head while she was sleeping, then proceeded to murder Maria. So he spent the next 2 days just wandering around the house, and he even was talking to her agent the next night that he intended to move out for good. He just needed some time to say goodbye to his little girl, which is just, if anybody would have known what was really going on, there wouldn't have been a better outcome, but this next part. So he went into the garage. He then poured gasoline on the bodies and set them on fire. After he lit the bodies, he went to the garage again and shot himself in the head with a .32 caliber pistol on August 9th, 1988. And then Barsi and her mother were interred at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Los Angeles. And Barsi's final film was All Dogs Go to Heaven, and she provided the speaking voice of Anne Marie. It was then released in November in 1989, which you can still watch to this day. It's such a good movie, and I love it a lot. I really recommend it. Don Bluth, he was the director of The Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven, described her as absolutely astonishing. She understood verbal direction even for the most sophisticated situations, and he planned to exclusive her and feature her extensively in his future productions. So the end credit song at the end was called Love Survives, was dedicated in the memory of her. So that's it for this story, guys. I hope you really liked this video, and please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tap that bell ding so you never miss when we upload a video. My social media is at Idaho Eventing on Instagram if you want to go follow. I'll spell it out for you if you don't know. IDAHOEVENTING. So that's the case of Judith Barsi. And yeah, I really hope you guys like this video. See you next time. Bye!